I'm CK. A couple of weeks ago, I tried a solder desolder station from Hiwa. I know I'm saying that wrong, and I liked it pretty well, and it was inexpensive, but it was only the through-hole solder sucking type, and I do surface mount too, so I wanted to give a surface mount tool a try. So I looked at Hiwa's other products, and for less than $100, they had a hot air rework station, and I bought it, and let's open it up and see how it works. Hope you enjoy the video. Here's the box, and over here is my Hiwa 948 desolder station, which again I liked quite a bit. Let's open this guy up. It's obviously, well, not obviously, it is smaller. The box is smaller than the desolder station. We've got important information to register your warranty. Here's the operation manual safety instructions. That's the same as that one. And here's the operating instructions. And again, it's very, very light. Power switch, air volume adjustment knob, LED display, preset channels, temperature adjustment button, and the cord for the hot air gun. And that's pretty much it. Talks to you about temperature calibration, which I won't care about. If you're using it in a production setting, you might care. Okay, we've got a rubber thing. Looks like a mat to do work on. That's nice. Oh, look at that. I brought my own tweezers over, but it came with two sets of tweezers, one bent and one straight. That's very nice. I like that. Thank you, guys. A dingus thing, probably to clean it out. I don't know. Here's the hot air gun itself. Set that down. I'm going to check the framing on the cameras, guys. So put that aside. Having a nice little mat is always good. That's a nice touch to throw in. Again, this is less than $100 US, so that's not bad to have little accessories. And here we have a variety of nozzles. A big nozzle, wide. A round big nozzle. Some screws which clamp these on the end of the air wand. And a reasonably small aperture. So I'm going to put all these, I think I can, why did you only give me two screws? They only gave me two long screws and two short screws and three nuts. Three nuts is fine, but I would have liked to have another one of each of those, but deal with that later. Here's the box itself with the power cord. We'll look at that in a second. I'm going to grab the rest of the stuff out of here if there is anything. We'll get the box ready for recycling. Also comes with a holder with screws so you can mount it on something. It's already got the, it mounts right here. It mounts like this. Interesting that it mounts like this instead of like this. Not a big deal, just interesting. So there is no air port, so the fan and so on is all generated inside the handle. So what I will do now is connect this like so. There it is, it's keyed, and it has a knurled nut to hold it fast, which I will say some other less expensive units or even more expensive units do not have, and that's very nice to ensure that you don't accidentally unplug it. And this is the Yuha 959D. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the cameras off for a second and plug all this in, and also I'm going to put the screws through some of these so we can and mount the dingus on the side, and we don't have to waste time looking at that, because just screwing things together is not what you're interested in. Not what I'm interested in either. All right, it's plugged in, and I put the screws on the two nozzles I'm most likely to use. This large square one would be for like a 40-pin IC or whatever, and I rarely do that with what I'm doing, so I'm not going to try it. So let's turn it on, and it is doing its thing. The temperature's going up, and I can feel it going up. I'm actually going to slide this on before it gets too hot. And I'm probably going to burn myself as I do this, but that's the risk you run. Oops. They also have calibration instructions to get the temperature right. And yeah, just a hint, screw this thing on before you turn it on, because it's getting like hot. I can't do anything with it actually. So that's 512 degrees. Now we've got presets here. This is 392. This is 512, I think, and that's 152, but we'll just take this way up. And it seems to be heating very well. I'm going to grab some solder just to see if I can melt solder with it at 500 some degrees. Solder should certainly melt. Let me do that. It's just sliding all over the place. Oh yeah, the solder is definitely melting. Yep, melting very well. We'll see if I want to get it to drip onto my piece of wood I got here. But again, there you go. So at 500 and some, it melts, actually at 469, melts it very well. Now we can take the airflow way down, take the airflow way up. Hope you can hear that. That's quite a bit of airflow. So that's pretty neat. Now I'm going to turn it back off right now. Now it doesn't do what I thought it might do, which was have the fan stay alive for a little while longer as it cools off. But it didn't choose to do that, and that's okay. That's a feature probably for something that costs more than $100. So I'm going to turn the cameras off again and get set up to do some actual rework, and we'll see what it does. This is a little fidget spinner I made the other day. I'll put a link in the description below. And it's got LEDs, and as you can see, LED 7 and 9 are not lighting up. And if I put the my meter probes on them, you can see the LEDs actually do work. And I tested this a little bit and found that the diodes at 9 and 7, I mean not diodes, resistors at 9 and 7 appear to be opens. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this on. And as you can see, I put the handle on. I'm going to turn this on, and I'm going to try and, I'm going to turn the power off first. And then I'm going to try and pull D9 off. I mean R9 off, without disturbing the others around it. Solder doesn't seem to be weakening yet. I've got the air volume up high. Don't have the temperature all the way up. I'm going to take the temperature up some more. Okay, temperature's up at 616 Fahrenheit. There we go. Look at that. That came right off. Now, unfortunately, as you might see, R11 came off at the same time. because I was a little clumsy with it. Let's see if I can put that back on. Take the air nozzle away for a moment. And there it goes. So that's reworked. Okay, so I'm going to put this back in its rack. It's still blowing hot air. I've got a replacement 100 ohm surface mount resistor right here. And I've got it now. Here, you can't really see it. Ooh, the handset powered off. I wonder why. Okay, it powered off for a minute. I guess it goes into idle mode if it hasn't been somethinged in a while. I'm not sure why it's not running right now. Oh no, it's running. There we go. Coming up to temperature again. Very quickly. I mean, I forget if I framed that right. But now let's go ahead and put R9. Oops, I just sprunged it out of my tweezers. I think it's over here. Okay, folks, I gotta go look for this or get a replacement. I'll be back. And we're back. Grabbed a replacement. If you're gonna be doing surface mount, just like anything, you need to have spares around. And one really great thing are these books for different size SMD components. I wrote 805 on the back. And just pick your resistor, pick your transistor, pick various things. These are really good. They're like 50 bucks on Amazon, but it's 5,000 surface mount components that you might not need all of them ever, but it's good to have spares, because then you don't get hung up in a project. And now I'm looking for the resistor I just pulled out. Where did it go? There it is. Now we'll try this again. I'm going to turn the airflow up. I'm going to go to about 5 on the airflow this time. Getting a grip, finding your grip on the nozzle is interesting. We're heating up the solder again. And there it goes. Up. Oh, it bridged. Okay, I put it down. It's attached on both ends. I'm waiting for it to cool. There, it's cooled. We put this back in here. Turn this back on, see if R9's lighting up now. I mean diode 9. It is not, but that's not necessarily the problem with the resistor or the rework, because it is in just perfectly. So, even though it didn't fix the problem, that's less important than the actual usage. This was very easy to use, and again, that's the first 2 times. Removal, actually 3, removal, replacement of R11, and replacement of R9, and I've never done this before, and it all went smoothly. And as you can see, D11 is working, diode 11 is working. So that's pretty neat. And again, this was less than 100 bucks, and I've got a surface mount rework station. As you saw, the thing you have to be careful about is, because it's not a pinpoint nozzle, it's a little broad, you do have to be very careful about other surface mount components coming loose as you're working on it. But I'm going to give this one a serious, this is okay. For less than 100 bucks to have a rework station, I'm fine with that. Hope you enjoyed the video.